Good afternoon. I'm Mark Uno, head of the Department of Religious Studies here at the University of Oregon. And it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to this afternoon's event, a special presentation by His Holiness Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama, The Path to Peace and Happiness in the Global Society. The effort to bring His Holiness to the University of Oregon has taken a decade, and now I wish to turn the stage over to the Venerable Tulku Jigme Rinpoche of the Eugene Shakya Center, with whom the University of Oregon has developed a remarkable cooperative effort whose fruits you see before you today.
It is with great honor, blessing, and joy to welcome His Holiness the Dalai Lama. 10 years ago, when we started our center, we had a vision to amplify the message of peace and harmony. With this in mind, my kind mother, Lady Palmer, approached His Holiness on numerous occasions to grace us with His presence. And finally, our dream is coming true. I think the theme here today is how path of peace and compassion is the best and most practical way of sustaining the world in mental happiness and physical preservation of the earth. And this message of peace and compassion in solving today's problems and challenges is no better demonstrated by than His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Your Holiness, for the world, you are a noble peace lord and champion of human values. For the Dharma student, you are the most precious and perfect teacher. For a Buddhist devotee, you are the manifestation of Buddha of compassion. For 6 million Tibetans, you are our beacon of hope and inspiration. Yet, you always mention that you are a simple Buddhist monk, nothing less and nothing more. In this inspiring mood, on behalf of Eugene Sakya Center, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to Your Holiness for your most gracious presence. And we would like to thank Your Holiness for your tireless effort, immeasurable love and compassion for all sentient beings. And I would also like to thank our sponsors, volunteers, community leaders, and most importantly, University of Oregon for their generosity and support in making this event possible. May all our gathered effort be dedicated so that His Holiness continues to live for a long time, and that his health remain excellent, and that his vision and all his aspiration for the world and for Tibet and Tibetan people may be fulfilled, and that during his lifetime he may return to Tibet.
There's a Buddhist expression I want to share with you all. Today is a beautiful day in the life of the universe. To have His Holiness the Dalai Lama with us here, this is the feeling one gets. It has been such a journey, over a decade of planning, many meetings every week for the past 8 months, with scores of unnamed yet heroic efforts made by the members of the Eugene Shakya Center and the University of Oregon. Yet, one is then reminded of the great journey made by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness Shakya Trizin, Lady Palmo, over continents, through many mountains and valleys to bring us this beautiful day in the life of the universe. And now it is with great joy that I introduce to you our President, Michael Gottfredson, who holds a PhD and a MA from the State University of New York at Albany and an AB from the University of California at Davis. Prior to joining the University of Oregon in 2012, President Gottfredson served as Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor at the University of California, Irvine, as well as several other key positions, and has also held academic appointments at the University of Arizona, Claremont Graduate School, University of Illinois Urbana, and SUNY Albany. President Gottfredson is an internationally renowned expert in the field of criminology and criminal justice. His seminal work, A General Theory of Crime, is widely cited on the connection between early childhood experiences and delinquency and crime. His work has some remarkable resonances and affinity with Buddhist theories of karma, and dare I say, a karmic connection or affinity with His Holiness Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama. It is thus with the greatest of pleasures and honor that I introduce to you our President, Michael Godfredson of the University of Oregon.
Thank you, Professor Urno, and thank you for all the work that you've done bringing us here today. Your Holiness, civic leaders, students, faculty, staff, and members of the community, welcome. This is indeed a historic day for our community. When I first came to the University of Oregon nearly a year ago, I began a learning experience that has led to some wonderful discoveries. From our university's national reputation, I knew of its traditions of scholarly inquiry and its deep commitments to student learning. I knew, too, of its tradition of seeking the betterment of humankind through service. Once on campus, I began discovering examples of the character and commitment that underpin this national profile of civic engagement. Early on, I was introduced to the marvelous partnership between the university and the Shakya group of Eugene, a partnership that has provided the opportunity for us to gather here today. For almost 10 years, our partnership has sought the high honor of a visit from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I am deeply honored to join with the Shakya group and everyone here to welcome His Holiness to our community today. For the University of Oregon, this visit reflects our commitment to broad scholarly inquiry in the sciences, the arts, and the professions, inquiry bound together by a common purpose of enhancing the quality of life for the people of our community, the state, and the world. The relationship between our university's values and the work and message of His Holiness is indeed profound. Today, I have the distinct privilege of presenting His Holiness with the University of Oregon Presidential Medal. This is the highest honor that I can bestow. With this medal, we recognize His Holiness's work in promoting universal human values, inspiring inquiry into the human mind, and illuminating the interdependence of all peoples and our shared environment. Your Holiness, I now have the great honor to present you with the Presidential Medal. I also have one more presentation, Your Holiness. A University of Oregon visor.
Thank you. Another stuff. For you. Okay. Oh.
And now it is my great honor to introduce to this assembly His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, who will speak on the path to peace and happiness in the global society. Your Holiness.
As the president of the university, as a senior brother, then the brothers and sisters, I always start talk, call you brothers and sisters. I feel it is something important. Actually, the different name of different sort of status of these things are secondary, not important. Important is we are same human being. We are actually human brothers, sisters. We are same human being. In spite of the outwardly differences, but basically we are same human being. Physically, emotionally, mentally, we are same. And more important, in emotion, you have some sort of the potential of good emotion as well as bad emotion. I also have same. And then more important, everyone, right from the beginning, want happy life, do not want disturbances. We have every right to achieve happy life. So, now in order to achieve genuine happy life, we are a social animal. Each individual's happiness very much depends on the rest of the society. Now today, we are also such sort of the reality or situation, not only nation to nation, but also continent to continent, heavily interdependent. So something happened, and far away, repercussion reach your own place. So the whole world is just one small planet. So something like we become world, one world. So therefore, the ultimate source of our happy life depends on the rest of the world. So here, I always make clear this sort of concept or sense of oneness of humanity. It is very important. For my own experience, with strong belief, same human being, oneness of humanity. Wherever I go, talk, people, I always have this sort of that feeling. I'm talking another human being. No differences. Whether east or west or south or north, no differences. And different religious faith, different nationality, different races, different color. These are secondary. Now here, when we really examine the situation of the world, there are a lot of problems. Some problems due to nature disaster, due to nature, like global warming. To some extent, our behavior also made some contribution. Basically, these are the natural sort of phenomena. Now, world, see those changing. After all, from Buddhist literatures, we always say eons, eons. So, whole galaxies, whole universe, whole Milky Way, moving towards certain direction. So these nature sort of element also is changing. So these are beyond our control. But meantime, a lot of problems, including violence, or including, you see, the suffering due to injustice, and also the poverty, exploitation, bully. All these sort of problems are our own creation. Mainly based on secondary level. For example, faith. If I sort of stress strongly, I'm Buddhist, then the Christians, Islams, Hindus, or those non-Buddhist, some distance. That kind of concept immediately creates barrier and creates strong we and they. Then, for your own sort of short-term interest, sacrifice their right, bully on them, exploit on them, cheating on them. If we keep here oneness of human being, then you really feel that, yeah, same human being. I want happy life. I do not want to exploit other people. So I should not exploit other. I should not tell lie other. I should respect, you see, their life. So then, certainly these man-made problems certainly will reduce if we promote the concept oneness of humanity. I'm quite sure. So many of these problems on the basis of the secondary level of differences. So if we go deeper level, oneness of human being, then much of these problems automatically reduce. Usually I think, too much emphasis secondary level of differences, then sometimes forget about oneness of human being or human values, these things. Actually, I think in order to segue, because the value, money, the happiness or because of the better future of humanity, sometimes if necessary, we can sacrifice the secondary level of differences. But we usually use the opposite. So therefore, now for example, when I look at you, if I, you see, look at you, another human being, then in my mind, no barrier, we are same. If I look at you, oh, these are foreigner, I'm Tibetan, I'm Buddhist, and then even more, oh, I'm His Holiness Dalai Lama. Oh, that kind of thinking, isolate myself from you. Result, more uneasiness, anxiety. That actually, you see, creates a deep inside loneliness. If I look at you, another human being, I easily mix with you. Then no possibility to create loneliness. Clear? So therefore, I think all spiritual traditions, as it talks, spirit of brothers, sisters, I think that's very, very important. We must pay more attention about oneness of humanity. Then, once we develop genuine sense of concern of others' well-being and develop sense of concern of humanity. Then it automatically develops a sense of global responsibility. That, I think, very, very important. The reality, everything, as I mentioned earlier, interconnected, including ecology problem, global warming, and many things interrelated. That's the reality. But appearances, sometimes your own interest or interest of your own community, your own country, is more or less isolated. So there is huge gap, reality and perception. So if we carry effort according to our own perception, then often creates our action become unrealistic. Any unrealistic effort will bring disaster. We must act according to reality, not based on our own perception. I think many problems, including some sort of international issues. So sometimes the concerned people just try to solve or try to deal that problem according to their own perception. So then often, no matter how sincere motivation, often you fail. Because in spite of their sincere motivation and reasonable goal, but their method become unrealistic. So therefore, we must we must carry our activities more realistic way. So here, they investigate about reality or awareness about reality is very essential. Now, in order to know the reality, our perception must be wide, more holistic. The reality will not know through one dimension. We must look from various dimensions, 4 dimensions or 6 dimensions. In order to look that, our mind must be calm. If our mind biased, then cannot see. If we keep sense of global responsibility, then our mind always look more holistic. If we too much emphasis, my people, my country, my fellow believer, then isolate, then become biased, cannot see the reality. Clear. So therefore, now this concept must develop through education, not through just mere teaching. Clear. So I think in our education, I think really main purpose of education is try to reduce gap appearance and reality. So now in this field, I think education has very, very important role. Sometimes I notice some American, yours of education also, I think the knowledge about outside world sometimes limited. Of course, it is understandable, America, big land. And within your own country, a lot of problems. So you people always look for your own sort of concern, and sometimes is lacking fuller knowledge of outside world. So it is very, very important through education to teach people oneness of humanity, and through that way develop sense of global responsibility. Again, this does not mean you forget your own interest. No. If global level, peaceful, happy, your own interest automatically fulfilled. If humanity passing through difficult period, you cannot escape from that. So actually, more sense of concern of others' well-being. The benefit, maximum benefit, goes to yourself. Sometimes you see compassionate, friendly attitude not necessarily bring happiness on other person. One time in Germany, I passing through the street. As I my usual habit, whenever I saw some people, I always smile. No need to introduce. So long, these are human beings. I smile. Of course, if I smile birds, then I think my mind a little bit wrong. A human being, of course, you see, most cases when I look at them more with smile, they also respond. One occasion, when I passing through, one young lady going there, I smiled. The lady seems, I think, got some suspicion. This stranger person in that car smiling at her, perhaps she felt, something sort of bad intention. She looks very negative way. So my sort of friendly or compassionate sort of expression brought some suspicion on her mind. So therefore, sometimes compassion practice not necessarily brings some benefit to others, but you yourself, once you show them genuine sort of friendship on the basis of oneness of human being, you feel happy. So here I would like to mention, sometimes people feel practice of compassion. These are something benefit to other people, not necessarily yourself. This is totally wrong. Look, one occasion, I think near New York, university, we discuss with some scientists about about health. One medical scientist mentioned, according to his findings, those people who often come their mouth the word I, me, mine, like that. So such people have greater risk of heart attack. He didn't explain. Then I thought, it is true. Those people, provided be honest, otherwise they're very self-centered here, but saying, compassion, then something different. But I think such honest people express what they really feel. So those people who often, use these words, I, in the inside, strong self-centered attitude. So extreme selfish sometimes I call blind selfish. You see, that kind of selfish actually close our inner door. Then it finds it very difficult to reach out with other people. Result, you feel isolated, you feel lonely. Then more anxiety. With that, more suspicion, more distrust. So that's the causing of heart attack. I feel like that. More compassionate attitude open our inner door, then reach easily with other people. Clear? So therefore, the practice of compassion is really immense beneficial to oneself. Now, medical sort of science, medical scientists also now saying anger, hatred, fear really eating our immune system. So fear, anger, hatred, very much related with self-centered attitude, as I already mentioned. Too much self-centered attitude. Then think only oneself, not think the other. So result, eventually suspicion, distrust happen. So that really destroy inner peace, inner strength. So compassion, sense of concern of others' well-being, really develop inner self-confidence, inner strength. With that, you can carry your life transparently, talk frankly, truthfully, honestly. That actually creates very positive, warm atmosphere. Clear? So therefore, it is wrong to think the practice of compassion, forgiveness, these are part of religious practice. So those people who have not much interest about religion, they also neglect about these values. That's totally wrong. Whether you accept religion or not, it's entirely up to you. But these values are basically human value and biological factor. So religion only, you see, nurtured these values, but these value itself from birth, biological factor. So long we come from our mother, received immense sort of affection from our mother at the early age. So that experience from mother's affection, that experience really absorbed in our blood. So those people who received maximum affection from our mother in early age, rest of their life, in deep inside, much happier. Those individuals, no matter how successful, but at young age, lacking affection from our mother, from other sort of friends. And then sense of insecurity and fear, distrust become part of your life. So whole life, deep inside, much anxiety. So even small incident happen, it easily bursts. Inside, more sort of secure from early experience from early life. And even, you see, serious disturbances come, may not disturb your mind. So therefore, whether believer or non-believer, we must pay more attention about these inner values in order to achieve a happy life, happy society, ultimately happy world. This is one thing.